Hey, it's David Levin, author of Raise Your Inner Game, co-author of QBQ, The Question Behind the Question, founder of Raise Your Inner Game Academy. I am making 4 assumptions about you right now, just based on the fact that you're here, taking the time to watch this video. Let's see how many of these are true. First, you're interested in self-improvement. Maybe you're way into it, maybe you're just a little into it. Either way, you believe you can be a better person than you are and be better at what you do, and you want that. You're looking for ideas for how to improve yourself and your life. Number 2, things are not where you want them to be. The reason you're looking for ideas is because of some sort of dissatisfaction. Maybe you want to be more successful. Maybe you are successful, but you don't feel like it. A lot of successful people are still struggling. Whatever it is, some area of your life doesn't feel right, so you're looking for ways to make it better. Number 3, you've tried other things. You've read a book, maybe a bunch of books. You've tried an app, maybe tried meditation. You've gone to a seminar, taken a training. So this is not the first thing you've tried. And number 4, the other things haven't worked. Not completely. They probably helped some and for a while, but the core struggles that made you want to improve in the first place are still there. You're still beating yourself up all the time, doubts, fears, worries, insecurities. You still feel stressed out and overwhelmed too much of the time. You get upset by things and have a hard time shaking it. You get distracted and lose focus. You're still not being the kind of person you want, the kind of wife, husband, parent, friend, leader. You're still not taking care of yourself like you want to. You're not sleeping well. You don't have the energy you want. Basically, life is just a lot more of a struggle than you think it should be. And nothing you've tried so far has fixed that. So those are my assumptions. You're into self-improvement. Things aren't where you want them to be. You've tried other things, but the core struggles are still there. If those are true for you, or even close to true, please stay with me, because this is going to help you like nothing else has. This is the piece you've been missing. And here's why I can say that. Here's why I'm so sure this can make the difference for you and other things haven't, if I can geek out for a minute. It has to do with a skill called cognitive control. Cognitive control is the ability to direct your thoughts and attention. In other words, to put them where you want and to keep them from going where you don't want. That's cognitive control. It's a simple idea, but this skill is basically the fundamental success competency. Meaning, if you can do this, you can do whatever else you set your mind to, because you can stay on it. You can block out the distractions. You can come up with more creative ideas. You can stay focused, and you can get things done. But if you can't do this, you can't control your thoughts and attention, and by extension control your emotions and your physical impulses, it's very difficult to do any of that and to work anywhere near what you're capable of. So if you can develop this ability to shut down the unhelpful thoughts and emotions and keep your attention where you want it, it literally affects every aspect of your life. Every goal you have, it helps you get there. Every struggle you have, it makes it easier. It's almost like magic once you get it. But that is the power of cognitive control. And that's why I can say this training is uniquely powerful. And I can be so sure it'll help you, because it teaches you how to develop cognitive control, and nothing else does. I'm not kidding about that. It sounds unlikely, I know, but there is literally no other training anywhere that teaches you how to develop this and does it in a way that's so easy to understand and put into action. So even if you're already into self-improvement, like we said, and you've done other things, I still know this will be new for you, and it'll help you like nothing else, because that's the power of the skill. And here's a great story to illustrate that. One of my first students, way back when I was starting with this, I've been developing this material since about 2010. One of the first students was a woman named Bridget. Bridget was a surgical nurse and educator at the hospital where she worked. And when she first signed up for the program, I was a little nervous, because when I asked her what other personal development things she'd done everything. She'd done things I'd never heard of. So I thought, what could possibly be new in this for her? But as soon as we finished the program, Bridget went on to lose 58 pounds, and she applied for and ultimately completed her PhD. She's Dr. Bridget now. It's an incredible story. And remember, she'd already done a ton of personal development work, and she was already successful in many ways. But there were still these 2 areas, pretty deep areas, that she hadn't been able to crack: her weight and procrastinating on her PhD. And by the way, we didn't talk about either of those things during the program. Not one word about weight loss or appetite control or anything like that. We didn't talk about procrastination or goal setting or education. We just worked on the core skills. But as soon as we finished, she cracked both of those problems. And she credited this skill, cognitive control, with making the difference. So with everything else she'd done, she still hadn't learned this yet. But as soon as she did, it changed everything. That's why I'm so confident in what this can do for you. And by the way, it did the same thing for me. This all started with my own struggle. It was 1992. I'd been a full-time professional musician for about 15 years. Up to then, I was a rock singer-songwriter. But now I was off the road, waiting tables, playing part-time in a wedding band, no direction, feeling pretty lost. I was also starting to put on some weight, which had never happened before. I was having money problems, piling up debt, making bad choices, really struggling. Now, it didn't necessarily look like that from the outside. I think people who knew me at the time would say things were probably fine. But on the inside, it felt like things were slipping out of control. And it's not like I wasn't trying. I've been into self-improvement for, years. I started meditating like 20 years earlier. I read everything I could find, listened to the Tony Robbins tapes, all that stuff. But even with all of that, things still felt like they were slipping out of control with no end in sight. And I was out of ideas. So again, just like the assumptions I had for you into self-improvement, trying things, they weren't working. I was struggling. But something happened around that time. I had this odd experience. I call it my Wizard of Oz moment because it felt sort of like I saw the man behind the curtain, meaning I finally got a glimpse of how the inner game really works. And once I saw this and started to incorporate this skill, cognitive control, things started to change. I don't know if you've read these two books, but In the Inner Game of Tennis by Timothy Gallwey and The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, they both tell a very similar story. One day something clicked, they noticed something they hadn't seen before, and it totally changed their life. That's what happened to me. Things really did change from that point on. They got simpler and easier to understand. I was able to handle the struggles like I never had before, and things really did start to change. Now, not overnight, not as quickly as they did with Bridget. It took a while for all the changes to show up in my life, but with music, I ended up turning things around and putting out 4 albums of original music. Nice little career, super proud of all that. As an author, I published 2 books of my own now, 3 more with my friend John Miller. One of those sold well over 1 million copies. Amazing good fortune there. With relationships, been happily married for almost 30 years now. Great family, beautiful kids, just a great life. And every bit of it has happened since that day. So that's the difference this made for me. Similar story for Bridget, Timothy Gallwey, Eckhart Tolle, and they can do the same for you. No matter what your dreams, no matter what your struggles, this training will make a difference for you like nothing else has. So now let me tell you about it. Raise Your Inner Game Academy. The core material in the training comes from the book, Raise Your Inner Game. I created the Academy to give you the maximum possible impact from that material. It's video-based training delivered online, and it follows the same structure as the book. So 2 parts. Part 1 is the inner game and how it works. Part 2 is inner game skills and tools. Part 1 is where you learn the inner game framework. This is a simple model that helps you understand your inner life in a way that you really haven't before. The framework helps things make sense, finally, but most important, it gives you the knowledge you need to finally get control of it. And then part 2 is where you learn specific, practical skills and techniques for doing that. You learn a skill called Know Quiet, which helps you get control of your thoughts and emotions. This one alone is worth taking the training when you really get how to do that. You learn something called Clear the Desk, which helps with the transitions in your day so you can be more productive and not feel so overwhelmed by the crazy pace of things. You learn an amazing skill called Lifts, which is a little more advanced, but is incredibly powerful for being more present and mindful in the moment, also for developing impulse control, which is a huge aspect of feeling successful in our lives. You learn a technique called Focused Sitting, which is an amplifier, an accelerator for the other skills, maybe the most powerful thing you can do to raise your inner game. You learn about the Inner Game Tracker, which is the perfect tool to help build new habits, get control of your bad habits, and stay focused and on track over time. Super helpful. And every one of these skills and tools is simple and practical and something you can easily do. That's another thing I think is unique about this training. Everything you learn is just incredibly practical and actionable. It's easy to incorporate into your daily life. And by the way, it's that way because that's the kind of training I want for myself. I don't want theories, at least not a ton of them. I don't want fluff. I don't want to waste time on that. I want things that I can do and that work. And you will feel that approach in every piece of this program. As I said, the Academy is an online, video-based training. It's easy to use, mobile-friendly, any device, anytime, wherever you are. We have a private community included where you can ask questions that come up as you go through the training. You can connect with like-minded people, get support and accountability, which makes such a difference. And this is not a Facebook group, by the way. I really wanted to find a different platform for this. I think that's a plus. The training is step by step, chapter by chapter. You go at your own pace. It includes downloads, handouts, everything you need. Each chapter also has a quiz at the end that you fill out before moving on to the next chapter. This is a huge help in anchoring the material, making sure you're getting all the important points. And that's also another benefit of the community forum. The forum is a perfect place to get your questions answered, so it's all making sense every step of the way. This quiz feature is also what enables you to go at your own pace. A lot of other online training holds back the modules and releases them on a set schedule that they decide, typically one module a week. I never like that. It never fits in with my schedule, and it feels like it breaks the momentum. It does give you time to dig into each module, which is a plus for the learning. But the Academy approach gives you the best of both worlds. You can go at whatever pace you want, so you keep your momentum, and it fits into your busy schedule. But it also makes sure you're remembering all the important points. So the impact is there. This reminds me, too, of the power of the Academy versus just reading the book. Because that's a question. I mean, since the training is based on the book, why not just do that? $15, quick read. What's the extra benefit in the Academy? And the truth is, for a lot of people, the book is a great way to go. All the core material is there. But as a trainer, and I've been in the speaking and training world for almost 20 years now, it's just a fact that any book, no matter how good it is, has inherent limitations in the impact it can have. And here's a great example of that. A friend of mine read the book when it first came out, said he loved it, told me it was helpful, and he was using it regularly. It was great. A year later, though, he reached out again to say, I thought I got it before, but I really didn't. I've gone through it a few times now, been working with it more, and now I'm really starting to see it, and it is amazing. It's helped me more than meditation or really anything else I've done. I just can't imagine anyone not being helped by this. So that's an amazing thing to hear, of course. I mean, I was super grateful for it. But the point here is, this was a year later. To fully experience the difference the material can make, it took a year and multiple times through the book. What if he hadn't read it again? What if he just thought, yeah, that's good, and moved on? He never would have discovered how transformational the material can be. That's why I created the Academy versus just the book. I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want it to take a year to get there. I want you to feel the benefits of this as quickly and as deeply as possible. And short of direct coaching with me, which is a whole different level of commitment and investment, this is the best way to do that. Online, 24/7 access at your own pace, video, materials, quizzes, community is the best way. Also, there are parts of the Academy that aren't in the book. Clarifications, expansions, some completely new material that's come up since the book came out. So it's also the best, most current version of the material. That's another big advantage of this online format. As new things come out, we can add them in. And since you get lifetime access to the training, you'll always be current. So that is the Raise Your Inner Game Academy. It's the maximum impact experience of the Raise Your Inner Game material. All right, so what's the cost? What's the investment? First, let's compare it to your other options. For the absolute maximum impact, as I mentioned, you can work with me directly. That's my Inner Game Mastery coaching. I love doing that. It's a 6-month program. It's amazing. The investment for that starts at $12,000. So it's not for everyone, but it's incredible. At the other end, as we said, the book is $15. And for some people, that really is all they need. And that's what I had in mind when I wrote it. The goal wasn't to lure people to buy something more. The book was designed to be everything you need. But like any book, it does have the limitations. We talked about the work is all on you. There's no way to ask questions, get clarifications, no quizzes to anchor the material, no access to new material as it comes out. It can take time to really get it. And because of all that, it's not as certain that it will ultimately have the impact it could in your life. So then the third option, the middle way, is Raise Your Inner Game Academy. Tuition for the Academy with everything we've talked about is only $297. One-time payment, lifetime access. Or you could do 3 payments of $109. So those are your options for getting this life-changing material. The full Mastery Coaching Program, the book, or the Academy. When you think of the time you'll save and the extra momentum and clarity and confidence the Academy training gives you, it's just a great way to go. It's a smart choice, incredible value. And you can get started right now. Just click the button, register, and you'll be in and learning. It's that easy. And you are just going to love what this does for you. I really hope you decide to join me. So please do register now. And to take care of the last big question, which for most people is, this all sounds great, but can I really get it? Can I make it work in my life? I've got a special bonus for you. I'm going to be holding regular office hours where you can call in and get your questions answered directly by me. If you're struggling with something's not making sense, we'll talk about it, get it sorted out. If you're looking for specific ideas for your situation, we'll brainstorm, see what we come up with. Now, you can always post questions in the forum too, as I said, but being able to talk things through live is just way more effective, which is why coaching is so valuable. This is basically group coaching with me. The calls will be recorded. The recordings will be posted in the Academy area. And if you can't make a call, you can submit questions ahead of time in the forum. And this isn't just a handful of calls either. Typically, in online courses, coaching calls just run for the duration of the course. There'll be maybe 3 or 4 calls during the training, and that's it. But I'm going to be doing these regularly, so you can ask questions during the training and also after the training when you're out in the world, putting what you've learned into action in your life. So like I said, this takes away that last question. Can I make this work in my life? The answer is yes. Number 1, because the material is so simple and practical to start with. But number 2, because you can get all your questions answered. Normally, coaching calls run $4.95 an hour. And I don't actually do individual calls. They're always part of a larger package. But these office hour calls are free as a special bonus during this offer. So this really just guarantees that you will make the biggest possible difference in the shortest possible time. And that's the whole point of the Academy. And on top of all that, there's no risk. The Academy comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if that's a concern for you, what if I waste this money? Don't worry about it. Anytime in the first 30 days, if you decide this really isn't for you, just let us know. We'll refund your full tuition, no questions asked, no hard feelings. Okay, I mean it. I know how much this can help you. I want to make the decision as easy as possible. So, no risk. The only thing is, you do need to decide soon. Today is best while you're thinking about it, but registration is only open for a short time. So please do decide quickly. Okay, I would hate to have you miss out on this if you're thinking about doing it. Again, think about my friend. Took a year. Do you want to wait another year to start making these changes in your life, to start making the struggles easier? I don't think so. Now is the time to raise your inner game. So here again is what you get when you register. Raise Your Inner Game Academy. All the material from the book and more. How the inner game works. All the skills and tools. Step by step. Chapter by chapter. Quizzes to anchor the important points. Worksheets. Downloads. Everything you need. Private community for questions and connection and accountability. Video-based. Mobile-friendly. Go at your own pace. Keep your momentum. Lifetime access. Plus the bonus office hours coaching calls with me. All that for only $297 or 3 payments of $109. Incredible. Click the button. Register now. I know right now a decision like this can be a struggle. I've been there many times myself. So I know what that's like. Is this for me? Can I do it? Is it going to work? Am I going to feel stupid for making a bad decision? But I promise, if you're into self-improvement, but the struggle is still there, you are going to be so happy you did this. It's going to be one of the best things you've ever done for yourself. It just is. Again, no matter what your dream, no matter what your struggle, this will help like nothing else you've done. So if it's feeling like a tough decision right now, I totally get that. But I want you to know that on the other side of that decision, when you're in there, you're learning the skills and feeling the difference it's making for you, it's just going to be the best. So click the button, register now. I will see you in the Academy.